Hi, Assalamualaikum and good evening for today. My name is Shafika binti Shafri. My metric number is A19B1219. So for today, I would like to explain what is the perception. Perception. What is the meaning of perception? Perception is an individual, it's the process by an individual to select, organize and interpret stimuli into a meaningful and coherent picture of a world. Perception has a three-stage of process which is used to give a meaning to the stimuli received through the five sense. What is the five sense? We can see, we can hear, we can smell, we can taste, and also we can touch. By the way, when we learn about the perception, we have to concern about the sensation. What the definition of the sensation? The definition of sensation is the immediate and direct response of the sensory organs to stimuli. Stimulus is any unit of the input to any of the sense. The human sensory system is the source of the raw input that are received and processed by the human brain. When we get a stimuli, we have an eye to see, we use an ear to listen, and we use our nose to smell, we use our tongue to taste, and the last one, we use our skin to touch what kind of product that we are buy as a customer, and we can interpret by ourselves. Let me explain what is the three-stage process of perception. Perception for the first one is the exposure. Exposure happens when a stimulus can be felt by any one of the five senses. We have a selective exposure. The control of the control that the consumer pay has over what kind he or she wants to see, wants to hear, smell, taste, and touch. Happens when there are too many products and too little time for the consumer to pay attention any one of them. Second one is the attention. Attention is an ad directing the brain to process of particular stimulus. We have a selective, we have a divisible, and also the limited. The selective is decide what consumer wants to pay attention. For an example, sports ad that endorsed by the famous footballers such as Ronaldo and the Messi. And the divisible. Divisible is consumers' attention can be divided. For an example, while we are dining in a restaurant, we can enjoy the taste of the food, and also we can play the musical song. The limited one is the short attention span, not focused on ads, advertising, no, unless it catch consumer interest. The third stage process of perception is interpretation. Interpretation is the action of explaining the meaning of something. Consumer assigns to stimuli based on the stimuli, and then the consumer will give a meaning to the situation. For an example, the carbonate drink is filled into the two cans. For the first can is a Coke, and the second can is a white plain can. And the person who tastes the drink said the Coke is better. As we learn about the interpretation from the previous video, we have to learn about the bias in interpretation. What is the bias in interpretation? Okay, it happens when the advertising campaign and also the product launch is failed because the consumer decide and only see what they want to see. It's called as the interpretational bias. And we have two ways to reduce the interpretational bias. It's called as a semiotics and hyperreality. Semiotics. Semiotics is the art and science of attaching the meaning of the symbol. The symbol can be signs, can be logo, and words or any graphical representation.
People think that the logo of the South Korean company Hyundai is simply the first letter of its name. In fact, the letter H symbolizes two people, a client and a representative of the company, shaking hands. That's very thoughtful.
Hyperreality. Hyperreality is a practice of making real what is innately a stimulation. It called as artificial.
To reach the unreachable star, this is my quest.